Hey y'all, I wanted to do an additional video with information about the DJI mic. I feel like their brand video really covers all the bases. So this is just, if you feel like you need more information, you can watch this. So when you first open the little pouch, they all come in this pouch. Some of them, they're going to be like already wrapped in these things, and you can feel free to unwrap them and throw those plastic things away. Okay, so I've gone in and opened up all of my little things. Just a quick glance of the items. So this is like your charging cable that you're going to use. This is where the mic, it's like a port or a dock. It's where the mic will go for you to charge. There's a port on the back of it that you'll plug in one of these cords. Okay. This is the transmitter, I think is what they call it. This is what you're actually going to wind up hooking to your phone. If you remember in the video, it talks about like sliding this thing off. So I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. There's also a little port for you to charge it as well. This is the mic. So you can clip the mic to your shirt. You can also take this magnet off and put like this magnet behind your shirt and then this on top, whatever makes you happy. I don't really care. And then this little chip, it would be easy to lose. So please make sure you keep up with all your pieces. This is what we'll put to the bottom of the transmitter, and that's what we will link it to our phones with. Okay. These little pieces, I'm not sure what they're called, but they're like little fluffy things. These are supposedly there to cut down on, like if you ever hear someone talking, you kind of like hear their spit, swishing around or something. I think this is supposed to cut out that. So I don't necessarily suggest using these because I feel like middle schoolers would be distracted as mess if this is clipped on top of a microphone hooked to your shirt. And it could derail any conversation you're trying to have. But if you feel like that's something that you want to experiment with, just make sure it's not a huge classroom distraction. If you choose to not use these, please leave those in the bag just so they don't get a ton of dust on them and stuff. For this demonstration, I'm not using them. All right, so from what I gather, when you get them out of the bag, they do have a little bit of charge. One thing you'll need to remember, and please just do this because it's so helpful for everybody else who uses them, make sure they're charged when you give them back. So when you check them back in, and then they also, like, it wouldn't hurt for you to check to make sure they're charged, obviously, before you bring them out into the school. So to turn these on, it's like an obvious little, I don't know how close I can get. I don't know. There's like a little button. It's the power button. We've all lived in a tech generation. So hold it down 3 to 5 seconds and it will start blinking green. So you can see that. You're also going to do the same thing on the transmitter. So there is a power button by one of the dials and you hold it down 3 to 5 seconds and it will also start blinking green. Okay. Typically when you turn this on, this mic will go solid. So you can kind of see my dot solid. And then this on top, it's number one is solid. So this mic system, you can have two mics going on. We don't have that. We just bought the one mic, the mini. But so if you were to link to, there would be a second one. We only have that first one. Notice this is still blinking though. That's because it's not linked to my phone. All right. So to link to my phone, I'm going to pop off this bottom piece. Okay. And you just slide it off like that. You can kind of see where the next one's going to connect that grid. And this little connector piece that I told you you're going to use for your phone, it has a red arrow. There's also a little white arrow on here. The arrow should be pointing in the same direction when you slide it. And you kind of have to be a little forceful when you push that on. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm breaking this when I first did it, but it's just, you got to put some pressure behind it. So once I do that, notice it's still blinking and I'm going to hook this to my phone. So this adapter works on current, like updated iPhones. I think there's another one, somebody else's I tried when I was tinkering with this. So like maybe a Droid, I think it was Ivan's, whatever phone Ivan has. But anyways, so it works on anything with this adapter. And if you don't have a phone that has this, then our solution would be for you to use an iPad. So I'll go to that later. For now, we're just going to talk about a phone. So the biggest thing is when you plug this in, the transmitter should be sticking out the front of your phone. If you plug it in the other way, it's not going to work. And so if you plug it in and it links correctly, this little dot should eventually go solid. So let me see if I can open it up and pull up my camera and see if it will go solid for us. Yeah, so it already did it even before I pulled up my camera, but you can see it's solid now. So it shows that it's linked. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna get some awful feedback, but I'm gonna just clip it on and show you how it works. So let's clip on our mic. And from here, you just go to video and you are set to record. So I'll have a separate video for like how to hook this up to the tripod, but you'll record, set it up on the tripod, you'll record like normal. It picks up this, it does a great job of like filtering out the feedback from maybe other conversations going on. So it tracks the speaker. If you have conversations with students, like a small group or something or individual, it's going to pick that up. So I think I'm excited about having this opportunity for y'all. If you have questions on these, feel free to let me know. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole like dismantling it process. Just make sure everything gets returned and put back in the bag like it should, and make sure you're charging it before you return it and then before you use it as well. All right. I hope y'all are having a great day.